So Capricorn, this is your reading for the Taurus season with the Hierophant. Hierophant is a funny card. It's a very spiritual card, but it's also the card what brings in teachings or lessons. It's also a card of showing you where do you need to strengthen your commitment or what commitments need to be let go. So it is a very kind of a funny, a bit of a controversial card. You always love it, but there is also something what can be a bit tricky about it. Hierophant is a power card, also like an emperor was, but it's more like how you could follow your routine or follow the law. So let's see, what does this Hierophant bring to you? Is it a lesson, spiritual awakening, or is it a commitment? Like falling away from commitments also can be a lesson if they're not strong enough. Now, I have a wasp here. Okay. Or is it a mama? Okay, go up. So sorry about that. Wasp. Hang on. Capricorn, will see. This is interesting. I just want to see, what does wasp mean? Wasp and spirit. Wasp. 188. Page 188. Sometimes life stings. Oracle message. Not all that spirit creates in nature is easy to love, but when we look through the eyes of wasp spirit, we recognize that even thought sometimes life stings. There is a purpose for pain, just as there is a purpose for wasps in the natural world. Wasp keeps insect population down, supporting the growth of plants. So too, the sting of life may hurt, and you may feel deeply disappointed or even resentful that wasp spirit has shown up. But you will soon come to see that the spirit has something wonderful in store for you. You may well come to realize that being stung led to something far better than you had envisioned for yourself. Perhaps behind the scenes, wasp spirit has conspiring with spirit to ensure that you could grow something of value to you. Spirit has a plan, and wasp spirit plays a part. How you ever looked back and being glad your prayers weren't answered because the path you took led to something far better? Wasp spirit is a reminder to reflect of those times where today's sting may hurt, but something better awaits you. So that is a very interesting. I mean, the door is open, and for a little while now, and it hasn't flown in, and it's a huge wasp bus as well. So let's get you some overall energies beside the wasp. Watch out for things what doesn't go according to your plan. The spirit has a better plan for you, so life stings, but don't worry about it, okay? So let's see, Capricorn. Can we get Capricorn an overall energy? Okay, you want me to reshuffle? Cool. Can we get a reading for Capricorn, please? Okay. This. Whale and orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. Fall into my arms, surrender. Okay, this is a very close to this wasp card as well. Holding the opposites, extremes of life. And cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Interesting. I do sense for you, Capricorn, with this rock bottom, you have to get cracked open, and not because I don't feel that there is a massive something like something happening for you. You could get to the point, what I do see here is like you get to the point where you kind of turn around and say, okay, if I really want to do this, if I want to get this commitment, to get past this hurdle of life, I have to go very, very, very vulnerable and show the rock bottom of me. Okay, talk about my deepest fears, apologizing to people who I would have never thought, having this conversation with the people who I despise the most. You have to go and crack open to the very bottom, okay? You need to surrender to the situations, what are happening around you. Or it's actually, if you want this to happen, you need to surrender to your ego or letting go of the ego. What I feel here is heart and the solar plexus kind of going. And these two, if we are open on either two, we could die. And this is why we guard of these two parts very much, okay? These two plexuses. It's also a root chakra as well, or a sacrum chakra, but in different level, okay? It's mostly these two. I actually feel pressure in it. I nearly feel the heart chakra for myself is kind of going like gibbish gibbish. But because you need to go deep and you need to share your song, and then it's like right now they see you, but they don't fully get you, okay? So let's clarify these cards first. Let's clarify the Phalan Orc Elders, okay? Ooh. Yeah, you need to share your experience. Open this conversation and connect with people in that level. Whatever you have gone through in your life, find your place by sharing your story with people who have had similar experiences, okay? Because that will open up a new door, a new passionate beginning, and gives you a lot of enthusiasm to bring things over. I do sense you have already figured that out. There is something else which you need to do so you could start to get and grow your passionate new beginning. Okay, your passionate new beginning is definitely related to something of it's to do with your experience or your knowledge, what you're really passionate about. And you need to start to work with these people, especially on an emotional level. I do sense when you start to work with these people, you connect with them because it could even have a similar life path. So if you're, let's say, if you're working for yourself and you're looking for clients, let's say you're trying to sell, I'm currently selling semi-precious bracelets. So I would be looking at people who would be probably a similar tarot readers, Reiki practitioner, into the spirituality and healing. And I could share my story, how did I got in and how they can help me so they could relate to me more. Or if you are in lifestyle mother or parenting, or let's say you're into carpentry and you like to build stuff out of raw wood. You don't actually build anything out of raw wood. Whatever it is, you're farming, you're trying to sell something off. You're farming, you're trying to sell your organic food. So you kind of connect with the people who would be into or have gone through a similar lifestyle. If you have kind of an experience that the food can heal you or your mindset can heal you, that's the people who you've gone through. If you have gone through an illness, you connect with the people who have gone through a similar illness or going through this, so they could really get you, who you are, and what do you do. Okay, so there has to be this kind of a getting connected, but you have to also crack open. And when you do, in emotional level, you connect with them, and your business takes at the second stage. So fall into my arms. Can we clarify a little bit more? Can we get a more clarified? It's a cracked open, is it? God, can you just not take me one? Oh, sorry, I'm giving out. Like, I mean, 9 cards. 3 of Cups. Building a new friendships. Youth for celebrating announcements such as weddings, graduation, friendship cherished. I do sense you're making a new friends with the Page of Pentacles here as well. You're making new friends, and with the help of your new friends, you're creating this kind of a new journey, or your promotion or kind of a career is taking off. And it's also like Pre-Kate you have much to celebrate. Deep feeling of peace and happiness. Contented personal life. I do sense that when you do finally open up and get very vulnerable, you do not expect how much support you get from people around you, and how much actually of you're gaining in your professional level. And you're passionate. You can actually start to put your passion and your work together. We have a 5 of Swords here. Walk away from dishonest association, realizing that you thought something has not worth the effort. But I do sense this is something, it's like you start to understand that some people around you, or some kind of advice which you have got, is not really, it's not going against, or it's a bit of a conflicting, sorry, I'm gonna just crack that off. It's a little bit conflicting in a lot of ways with your old beliefs need to kind of renew it. They need kind of be looking at in a different aspect. That if before you would have it's like a personal conflict with someone or something that you didn't want to deal with. Let's say, example, you have gone through car accident, and it was traumatic, and you had to go then physio and get started back walking, okay? And now this whole experience has grown you become a life coach, right? And you want to be helping other people, but you do not want to enter back into people who have gone through a car crash, because it's still very conflicting. So review the past and the present so you can plan a bright new future, understanding your life purpose, releasing judgments of yourself and others. So you have to kind of, by surrendering and opening it up, you return into this kind of a past experience, and you release it, and you start to understand that this is the one thing what you need to preach about. How did you got to that point? Where were you before, and how are you moving forward? We have a Knight of Cups, we have a 7 of Pentacles, and we have the Lovers. There's definitely I do sense it's actually really good. You do start to understand, I do sense nearly like there is a lot of opportunities coming in when you go through this. And but you could be a little bit like very cracked open, and you could feel a little gentle. Take time to rest and plan your next step. A prudent investment of time or money. When you go through that epiphany and this surrender and cracking open, and you find this suddenly surrounded by the friends and this abundance coming in, I do sense you need to take time out to freshen yourself up. You might need to turn down a bit of work, and you thought you would be able to do something as that, but you're just taking a step back, and that's actually perfectly fine. Like another example, I had an argument with my mum. It was much needed for a very long time, and it threw me off my game totally off my balance. I needed to sleep for 2 days after, but this is something was actually issue what I never really resolved. And this has been our argument, or this issue, the power struggle, since I was a child. And now I'm thinking, my mom is Capricorn in 4 signs, or 4 or 5 signs. So this is kind of like, if you go and deal with this issue, you probably have to sleep it off, because it's something what needs to be kind of going from a cellular level. You might have to admit something what has happened to you and live through it. And when you live through it, you release that energy. It brings you in so many people who want to hang around you. And it actually also brings you don't even realize how tired or how anxious it made you. So it actually also brings you in a good health and this kind of balance. I have a lot of balance cards here. So now, Capricorn, I'm going to get you a bit of advice. I'm going to use another Rebecca Campbell's deck. Now, can we get some advice for Capricorn? Wow, I have to go and root this out from under my flower pots. So yeah, your guidance is divinely guided. This is something would have been in your Akashic records and needs to be resolved. This is not the first time you haven't had the situation. I do sense that some of you might have had a similar accident in the past life. If it wasn't car accident, it could have been car accident, it could have been a horse accident, train accident, or anything like that. And it's not only that you have had this situation this lifetime, it is something what has been in lifetimes. And this guidance is, you're divinely guided to have this opening. So trust your intuition. Longing for own belonging, the original light worker. When you crack open and surrender to the situation, you're actually going to become this light worker, your true path where you need to kind of head to. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill, take a break. So yeah, take a break after you have done it. You feel much better. The Empress card is coming in. I can't tell you right now, my notebook is not here, but around the 1st of March. And that's the manifestation card. So if you release it in the next 2 weeks, and the new moon, the full moon in Virgo is happening in 27th, that it will definitely help to shift that energy. Just take a time out and really sleep, because there's so much more manifestation happening then onwards. Okay, so that's all I have for you, Capricorn. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to chat you soon. Bye.